and I welcome you all to this online session. I would like to begin by starting off Toastmaster Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Some rules respected during the session. 1. All attendants must mute your audio all the time unless instructed or otherwise by MC. Second, do not share your screen by asked the host. Let us now welcome presiding officer of this session, Toastmaster Ujjwal. Toastmaster Ujjwal.
Thank you so much, Sai Hemant. A very good morning to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear members. Well, distinguished Toastmasters, my dear guests, and the district officers, I welcome you all again to this special event today, the evaluation speech educational session. Sounds interesting, right? We are almost near the contest season, and many people, the new Toastmasters or even the experienced Toastmaster, will be having a small jittery feeling about the contest season. But then don't worry, we have arranged everything for you. All the tips, all the suggestions for you to improve on your education session. And this, we are doing it, this will be the first season of it, and we do have other episodes coming up, and I would request all the guests to join in to the other episodes too. And today is a special meeting, and we are going it start with today. And it's wonderful to have you all here today. 43 members I see, and it's I feel great to see you all here. And without much of further delay, I would like to call our MC for the event, that is Sakshi, who is all energetic and all ready to take up the meeting. Over to you, Sakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwala. Hello, everyone. I have something for you today. Speak in such a way that others love to listen to you, and listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. The goal is not to be perfect by the end of the day, but the goal is to be better tomorrow. As you know, evaluation at Toastmasters is a test of both listening carefully to the speaker and delivering a constructive feedback for the speech. As they say, feedback is the breakfast of the champions, and to make this meal healthier, we have a zestful trainer with us, who by their experience will provide us with some wholesome advices that will add a punch to our evaluation. Without wasting any more time, I will introduce you to the flow of the session. First, we will have the training session, which will be followed by a Q&A session. In the end, we will have 3 evaluators who will be evaluating the test speaker, and then the master evaluator will be evaluating the evaluators. As we know the flow of the meeting, let's move to the first part of the meeting. With this said, let me introduce you to the trainer of the session, distinguished Toastmaster Pavan Sreedaram. He is an extrovert and is a Toastmaster since 2014. He belongs to Secunderabad Toastmasters, and he has been a district level evaluation contestant and a past division director. He is also a sports enthusiast and a biker. He believes that Toastmaster is a concept that can enhance anyone or everyone's personality. It is dependent on the person, how he or she wishes to use it for their growth professionally or personally. Please help me welcome the trainer of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Pavan Sreedaram. Over to you, Toastmaster Pavan.
Thank you so much, MC Sakshi, for that wonderful introduction. Can you guys hear me clearly? Is my voice audible? Yeah. Any lag in my video? All good. Thank you so much. May I request a timer to show me, I think it's 20 minutes, right? The session is about. Can I request a timer to show me green at 15, yellow at 16, and red at 17? Would that be okay?
Yes, it's absolutely fine. We will request timer as suggested by the Toastmaster Pavan. Please share your screen at 15 minutes green card, 17 minutes yellow card, at the 20 minutes red card. Okay, then he is going to have the 1 minute time for the closing the session.
I think
no need to
green at 15, yellow at 16, and red at 17 would be good because I would
Okay.
include it for the next 3 minutes once the red is shown. So,
fine, Pavan. Very good. Yes.
You can stop sharing.
Please stop sharing, Subhash. Please share it at the 15 minutes green card.
15, 16, and 17.
sounds good. So, we're good to go. All right. Hello, everyone. A very good morning. And I'm surprised to see 44 people on a Saturday morning. That either shows that you are actually interested to learn how to evaluate, or you are just coming here to see who is this person suddenly out of nowhere fell out of the sky to give an evaluation session. Let us judge him together. Which one is the reason that you are here today? One or two? And one of the basic rules of my came here to see you with a tongue emoji. Thank you, Division Director Agdejaperi, for that. Right. So one of the important things, whenever I try to converse, speak, or even give a training session, is that I like it interactive. Because if there is one thing I hated all through my college days was library, because it was very silent. And I don't want any silence in these sessions as well. So feel free to interact whenever I'm trying to ask a question or trying to understand it. All right. The chat box, I totally forgot about it. I'll keep it open just to ensure that I'm interacting with the people. All right. So today's agenda, we're going to have it. I'm going to just go through 5 different checkpoints that in my experience of evaluation that are very much required for any evaluator. Now, when I say evaluation, it is not just a contest evaluation, but even in a Toastmasters meeting in your club level when you evaluate a speech. So those 5 checkpoints would be: first one, we will be understanding what is the purpose of evaluation. Why do we actually evaluate? And second one would be the mindset or approach. How do you evaluate? Before you actually step into the shoes of an evaluator, what is the mindset you have to keep in mind? What is the approach you have to follow to make yourself in the shoes of evaluator, not anything else? And third one would be, what would you actually evaluate in a speech? What is it you analyze in a speech? And then once you do the analysis, the 4th checkpoint would be, how do you present that analysis of yours? And last but not the least, very important, the things you should avoid being an evaluator. Just 5 small checkpoints for the basics of this episode 1. I feel like I'm presenting a Netflix series of season 1, but yes, is that clear for the 5 checkpoints? Yeah, thumbs up, show some reactions, something that would be really good, or else I feel like I'm talking to myself. Because thank you everyone. All right, that's great. Everybody's awake, just like me. Right, let's start with the first checkpoint, that is the purpose of evaluation. Now, what is the purpose of evaluation? Can anybody just quickly throw a message in the chat or just unmute yourself and speak, whichever way you like to express?
Provide a feedback.
To provide a feedback.
Providing constructive feedback.
Providing constructive feedback, yeah, version 2.2 enhanced. Next.
To make them aware of their shortcomings.
To make them aware of their shortcomings, right?
Improving the evaluators' listening skills.
Improving evaluators' listening skills. Okay, interesting. Next.
To get to know where we stand as of now.
To get to know where we stand.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more responses? Encouraging people to improve. Okay.
I think there are different reasons for evaluation. One is obviously motivating the speaker, not showing him that you are not good for something, giving him or her points which he or she can actually apply in the upcoming speeches. And all the more, your evaluation should be such that the speaker remembers the evaluation for future, not like you give 5 to 10 good and bad points in which nobody remembers later on. So it should be remembered.
Yeah, I think you've given a short burst of things that are about to come in future. Like you just gave it all like time travel kind of thing. But that valid points, all of them. Right. Next, any more responses that you wanted to say? Evaluation.
Yeah, help the
sorry.
speaker to go to the next level. Help the speaker to go to the next level.
And I heard somebody also respond.
Yeah, I wanted to say that we could also excel in telling any point to the speaker in an non-offensive way,
In a non-offensive way. Okay.
in a constructive way, I could say. Yeah.
One more thing I believe is that evaluation is not to prove, it is more to improve. Most of the times we give evaluation to prove ourselves that we are extremely good evaluators, but that's not the basis. It is to improve the speaker. That's it.
That can make up a really good punchline. It's not to prove, but an improve. That's good. Okay. All right. I think Omkar has got a really good evaluation to give to speaker to help them become better in future. Interesting. All right. Each one of you are correct. Okay. There's nothing like wrong. One second. All right. So each one of you are correct. Nobody is wrong. But the thing is that all of these are part of it. They either come as a derivatives or consequences or part of being an evaluator. But the ultimate purpose of why you evaluate is to just 3 words, that is help the speaker. That's it. To help the speaker is what your purpose is. In that process of helping the speaker, you will improve, but that is a consequence. But your improvement should not be the primary goal why you're taking the evaluator. So to understand this is more kind of a improve by helping others kind of a role, evaluator, which teaches you a leadership trait of person in your personality development, where you put a speaker before yourself. Before your interest, your improvement, and your development, you put the speaker before you. You think how the speaker can improve, how the speaker can actually give a good speech, what is the strength of the speaker, or what points I can offer that will improve the speaker or the speech that he or she has given today. So you think in a perspective where whether it is helping the speaker or not, whether it is helping me, am I improving, did I present well, were the audience impressed by my evaluation? These things are all consequences or things that are not to be paid attention to. So the primary purpose of evaluation is to help the speaker. Underline that, bold, keep that all the time. Help the speaker. Or you want to just do some HTS or a short form things, you can put it like this. But you are there, evaluator is to help the speaker. That's the first thing. That is the purpose. And why am I stressing so much on that? Based on this purpose only, your mindset is defined when you step into an evaluator. Now that is where we arrive to the second point, checkpoint, that is the mindset and approach. So when we say we help the speaker, which means we keep the speaker before us. And that is how you need to think as well. Now, what is the difference between you thinking about yourself and you thinking about the speaker? When you think about your improvement, you see that will this point when I'm about to mention, will this sound good to the audience? Or will this fetch me the winner position? Or will this fetch me the best evaluator role? Or will this impress the audience? Will this impress my mentor? Will this impress the senior Toastmaster sitting right in front of me? Or is this a good point that can improve the speech? This is the things you'll think if you're thinking about your growth. But if you're trying to help the speaker, you put the speaker before yourself. You think, will this point actually make a difference in speaker's approach to present that speech? Will this point actually help the speaker to improve his strengths further? Or will this point help the speaker to cover his weakness that I have identified? That is the difference of mindset when you say you help the speaker. So you put the speaker before you, and that will ensure that you are in the right path. Because evaluation, again, you understand that everybody are aware of is it is subjective. And it is on the perception of that individual person. There is no one single proper evaluation template for each speech. If there is only one single evaluation template that is correct in the world, then why do you have 3 different evaluators providing 3 different feedbacks for the same speech in a contest? Because they look at 3 different perspectives from their end. So evaluation is different from each perspective. So you can't define a common thing under that when it is left to one's perspective. But what you can do is give them the right mindset and understand the right purpose of why you are doing that. Now, if you get this purpose and mindset correct, then you can feel confident about your perception of the speech when you realize it. I'm clear so far? Did I confuse you guys? Yes or no? Just give a thumbs up or just say no, or just say, Pavan, you're not making any sense, you can get out of the meeting room. A little. Okay. So, Omkara, you have some confusion, you can just pose a question where you got confused. I'm happy to clarify right away for that. In this purpose and the check with the mindset and approach. Okay, there is no question, but you're just a little understood. Okay, I'm putting my speaker in front of, but then how will I perform well as an evaluator? Your performance as an evaluator is there when your evaluation is helpful to the speaker. You are like the Katappa of this Bahubali film. You are not Bahubali when you're evaluator. This is the best short punch I can do it. Right? What Katappa does, he doesn't go for his glory. He ensures that his kingdom, his king is safe. That's what you are here. Evaluator is somebody who keeps the speaker improved and gives everything there. And what do you earn is a leadership trait of helping others, putting yourself a step behind. Leadership or traits are not all about you being in the front line and always getting the glory. It's all about giving life to others as well. Did I clear that, Omkara, for you? Feeling more pleasureful as an evaluator now. I'm happy. That's good. All right. So that is the mindset and approach. Okay. And you can see that in Toastmasters document that will say to help the speaker. And we need to derive that when you want to help a person, you keep them before you, not you before them, right? So that's a difference in that. Now we'll come to the third point. Now that we got the perspective, we got the mindset right. Now, if you get the perspective and mindset right, what is the thing is, whatever you analyze, you can feel confident about it because your basics are right. If your basics are right, everything, when there is something that is left to one's own perception, you don't have to worry that your evaluation is not as same as theirs or they are telling some other point. Do not worry about it because you can feel confident because your basics are right. Your purpose and your focus was correct. The mindset was correct. So that's the first 2 steps are very important when you're taking evaluator. Be it a contest or be it a club meet. Now, third checkpoint, that is what to evaluate. Okay. Now, what do you evaluate in a speech? Generally, there are 2 types of evaluation. One is your meeting evaluation in the club meeting, and one that's a contest evaluation. Now, I'm not going to go through the contest ballot here. No, I'll just focus on evaluation. Complete your evaluation, what to do it. The contest and everything that is understandable for your things, that should be fine. So what do you evaluate? Let's say in a meeting, you understand that there is a speaker who is completing a project, be it in Pathways or maybe 2 years back, it was a traditional program. So there was a dedicated meeting objectives for every project. Sorry, the speech objectives for every project, right? And you had some kind of objective to evaluate the speech on. Am I right? Yes or no? Okay, transition in the speech. Okay, what does CSD mean, Pragya? Interesting. Okay, so let's leave the club meeting evaluation. You already know that there is content system delivery. Okay, that's a new acronym. Thank you so much for that, CSD. Okay, sounded like MSD for a second, right? So in a club meeting, you know that there is a project, there are meeting objectives, and you evaluate or you align your evaluation on that. But let's take a contest perspective. There is no speech objectives in a contest, do you? Or have you ever seen an evaluation contest where the contester reads that the objective of the speech is this, time limit is 5 to 7 minutes, all the best. Do you hear that every anytime? No, right? It is just a speech. Now, what do you see there when there are no objectives given to you as an evaluator in a contest? Purpose, okay. And what is the purpose here when you say? You can speak instead of putting an effort to type. When you can unmute yourself, I think that is there. To transition, relate to audience. We can't unmute. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were can mute. All right, then we'll just interact with the text to speech recognition, Google functionalities kind of thing. Takeaway for audience, okay.
Looking at overall delivery of the speaker and assessing accordingly whether that has a message that it is, or and the call of action, whatever it is it basically giving some purpose? Because as an audience, if I'm looking at if I'm hearing somebody's speech, what is the takeaway that I could get it, though, because I also spending some time to listen to it. So looking at those aspects and giving in a perspective of evaluating and giving that in a manner that it would help the speaker and everybody.
By single line purpose, now I can unmute, so I can say by single line purpose, I meant that every speech will have, if I brief the whole speech, am I able to do it in one key idea behind the speech? And then I normally look for whether all the other supporting material, whatever this person has spoken, comes back to that central idea or not.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I will evaluate into two parts. First is content part and second part is delivery part. Right. So content wise, I will see whether this is well structured or not, whether it can able to convince me or not. I mean, audience should not get confused, like chronological order, and it should be, any message should be substantiated by a story, rather two stories, so that we can validate transitions. And well, delivery point of view, I can see whether this vocal variety is to the point or not. Once he's angry or she's angry, the speaker is angry, that enunciation should come out, right? And if time permits, we can go for the stage choreography also. Over to you.
Professional contribution. All right. Each one of you are correct, but I will stick to yes. Somebody said that content and everything. So in any speech, I think people who have been part of a traditional program will connect more to it. There is in the traditional program there was a communication manual called Competent Communicator Manual. In that there were 10 projects for anybody should mandatorily complete that. After that they had optional genres of public speaking, like social speeches, special speeches, technical speeches, and everything. So for that, the first 10 had confidence, transition, purpose, vocabulary, body language, vocal variety, then present using the aids and everything. Now the third project that was purpose, get to the purpose. That was the project title. Now that was very critical, because not in a public speech or not in any other conversation. So anywhere you speak, even for 3 lines when you're trying to convey something. So it's already, thank you so much. So you have to convey something, there should be a purpose of a speech. Now when I say purpose of a speech, there are 2 types of purpose in any speech you take. One is a generic purpose, second is a specific purpose. There is a generic purpose, there is specific purpose. But the generic purpose are into 4 categories throughout all speeches. You can inspire, motivate or persuade, entertain, or inform/educate. I'll repeat, you can inspire the audience, you can motivate them or persuade them, you can entertain them, or you can educate or inform. You pick any speech, be it Toastmasters speech, be it TED Talks, be it any other talks, anywhere in the world, you will see that that will fall under any of these three things only. So these four categories, right? So don't have to worry about that. Now, what to worry about is the specific purpose. Now, what is specific purpose of the speech? The specific purpose is nothing but what is that one thing the speaker is trying to convey to the audience, or with the whole speech is trying to convey what is that one point? All right, that is called the specific purpose of a speech. Now, that should be always there. Now, when you say in a contest they give a random speech, what we look at, this is the baseline where you start. First, identify the purpose of the speech. What is the one thing that the audience, that the speaker is trying to convey to me? That one line, or that one message, or that one storyline, or a single baseline for which all the experiences, all the stories, all the emotions is trying to convey, everything. All those are contributing to what message, or again, it's not a message all the time. Specific purpose is just one single line that trying to convey. It can be a message, or it can be just an opinion or an information as well. It need not always be a message. It will be a message when it is inspiring or motivating. Please remember that. But for humorous speeches, it's more like not exactly a message, but they will have purpose, a single storyline on which the whole experiences revolve. Okay. So understand that what is that thing that the speaker is trying to convey. Identify that, and then you do a reverse engineering there. This is what they try to convey. Now, what all things help the speaker to convey this in a better manner, right? So purpose comes under the speech content, right? The purpose, specific and generic purpose. You will have that content there. Now there you will also have a speech dynamics. Now what are speech dynamics? Your eye contact, body language, vocal variety, vocabulary, or hand gestures, face expressions, all these are speech dynamics. Now you do not isolate these speech dynamics separately and evaluate them. No. Speech dynamics are in relation with the speech content, which means that if a speaker is trying to convey a message, how will the body gestures or the body language or the vocal variety help you understand this message more effectively? That's what you have to think. Just because somebody is crying, did they do a voice modulation? Just because somebody is said they are angry, did they actually show angry on her face? That is not evaluation. It is all about whatever body gestures, eye contact, or the vocal variety, vocabulary, everything, did it enhance the message or the key takeaway the speaker is trying to convey to us? Did it make that message or key takeaway effective for you? Yes or no? Accordingly, you make an evaluation. Clear on this part? In simple terminology, speech content is like your plain rice. Speech dynamic is all that ingredients of biryani leaves, masalas, and everything. This plain rice is made delicious with all these ingredients. More ingredients, rice is spoiled. More rice, this masala is less, no taste. Equal amount, very good taste. I feel like a PR salesman doing this, but do you get the point? Yes? Right. So speech content is very important. Identifying a purpose, having one purpose, key takeaway. Understand that. Look into that perspective. And then you see what are the dynamic speech dynamics, that is the body language or the voice modulation or gestures or anything. What are those things that are helping the speaker to make that key takeaway effective for you? If that message hit you hard, at what point with his vocabulary did it hit you? With his voice did it hit you? Or with his story narrating skills did it hit you? What did that hit? What is that exact point which actually made that you? Understand that. That is your analysis when you do an evaluation in a contest level. And similarly, the meeting level as well. When they say body language, if they say body language is the product objective, you don't look at just the body language gestures. You look at how effectively the gestures are helping the key takeaway of the speech. That is how you evaluate. So the purpose remains always the first point to identify in every speech. And if it is a contest speech, you look at all parameters. If it is a meeting speech or a project speech, you look at the particular objective, what qualities the speaker has to show, and are those qualities, did the speaker show? One, And second thing, did those qualities that the speaker has shown help the key takeaway of the speech? That's how you evaluate every project. Clear on this part? All good? Wonderful. So that's about it. Now we'll quickly move on to the last, that is the second last. I think I might run a few minutes overboard. Is that okay? Thank you. Right. So how to present it? Now, many a times we have just 3 minutes. Sometimes you like a speech that you might just want to put everything. You want to write a book on that speaker. Or sometimes you don't like the speech, or the speech lacked everything according to you. And then you just want to roast the speaker in a big 5 minutes evaluation. But you just got 2 to 3 minutes. How do you do that? Again, getting back to the purpose. That is, you need to help the speaker. And to ensure that, you need to have a proper presentation technique as well. Now you can, there are multiple ways of presenting. I've seen people presenting in a cliche way, that is good points, improvements, and summary. And then there are people who have compared it to a paneer butter masala, people who have compared it to a yoga, or what if a speaker picks a theme for his or her speech, the evaluator tends to put that as well in their, adapt that style as well. Some create acronyms, some create, they show all the innovation in that technique. That's good. I'm not against it, but you can put any number of good points for helping the speaker. If you find these are good, if the vocabulary is good, if the voice modulation is good, if the comfort levels or even the content is good, the purpose you liked it, the content you liked it, the stories you liked it, you can put everything in the good points. But when it comes to recommendations, you need to put not more than 3 recommendations in it. Just 2 or 3 max. Just 3 recommendations that are relevant to that speech, to that speaker at that moment of time. And if you have 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, you prioritize which is the one that directly impacts the most if improved. You have to prioritize that. I see in virtual meetings, people say your eye contact is missing, or the camera is above the laptop. I can see the screen now. Either I can see in the laptop to the camera, or I can see into the screen. What should I see? Will that make a difference? No. So think of it. Is my recommendation actually making a difference to the speech? No, then chuck it. So prioritize it properly. And that is what you need to do in that 2 to 3. In that 5 minutes of time you get to write down your evaluation, right? You prioritize which one's right. That's how you need to give that. So good points you can do any number of times, but recommendations have maximum of 3 or not more than that. That is how you present your evaluation. It's very simple. And the technique, it's up to you, up to your comfort levels, whether you want to go with that, adapting the theme of the speech or adapting it to a cliche technique of good points, improvements, and summary. But but you have to always summarize. Remember, always summarize an evaluation. Because if the speaker has to get help from you, the speaker has to remember your evaluation, as somebody said at the start of the interaction. The speaker has to remember the evaluation, and that is only possible when you summarize it in bullet points. Just bullet point. And again, people tell all kind of irrelevant quotes or some other stories in summarization. No, why are you doing that? Summary itself means that what you just winding up what you told before. Why tell some other quotes or stories outside? No, don't do that. Just try to summarize in bullet points to help the speaker to remember your evaluation. Don't take it as a stage time for yourself to present something you want to tell. Don't take that. Okay. So that is the summary of it. And last, I'll just quickly go over the things to avoid as an evaluator. So the first point, things to avoid evaluator, is you should avoid preconceived notions about the speaker. You might know the speaker, or you might like the speaker, you might dislike the speaker. He's your enemy, he's your friend, he's your favorite bestie, he's your mentor, she is mentee. No preconceived notions. You evaluate from the moment the speaker starts a speech, and you end your analysis after it ends. In that, you only see that as a speaker, not anyone who is in some kind of a relation or a friendship with you, right? No kind. You might have heard of the speaker as well. Forget. Just isolate yourself. Look at the person as a speaker who is missing the first time. Second, avoid personal conflicts on speaker's opinion, view, or topic. Your job is to ensure that whether whatever opinion or stand that the speaker is taking in the speech, whether he or she did justice to it with his or her skills. not whether his or her stand is right or wrong. You're not there to judge that. Even if your moral beliefs personally in your real life are against it, you should not be pointing or putting any kind of opinions there. Your job is to see what was the stand, what was the opinion, and how well the speaker did to reach that opinion or convince us that this is right. That's it. Do not put your personal opinions in that. Right? And the third one, avoid suggesting topics of your choice in your evaluation to the speaker. Again, as I said, come to the topic, whatever the speaker has chosen, how well did they do to achieve that? You're not there to give them new topics. Instead, you can try this topic. Instead, you can try this topic. No, you're not there to suggest topics. That is the mentor's job. You are an evaluator here, not a mentor. Right? So avoid that. And fourth one, avoid asking the speaker to repeat the speech in your evaluation. You cannot ask the speaker to repeat the speech in your evaluation, but you can give it as an informal suggestion after the meeting offline. It is a speaker's choice whether to take it or not. Understood that? And last one, avoid getting carried away by the ribbons, certificates, and trophies. Because these ribbon, certificate, and trophies are more like those chocolates that are given to you by your maths teacher if you do well and you get an A+ in your primary school. And just think that what has sorted your career? Is that the chocolates or is that skill you got for getting the day grade? The skill you got the day grade, no? Not the chocolates that sorted your career after that, your college studies and everything. Not because you got 10 chocolates, you got your 10th grade in good marks. No. It is the knowledge, it is the skill you earned to get that A grade, that what sorted your career, not the chocolates you got from the teacher. So these ribbons, certificates, or trophies are more like a brownie points on the way, but what matters is your skill. The process you're going through as an evaluator, how well you're doing it, pick that skill up and try to focus on the skill. Irrespective, you win a contest, you don't win a contest. You win a ribbon, you don't win a ribbon. You get disqualified as well, doesn't matter. Focus on the skill. Okay. So those are the 5 different things to avoid. And with that, I will conclude that. Ravi, I think you might be already cursing me for going over time. I'm sorry. You can skip the Q&A if you want. 5 minutes is in. Okay, so that's about the whole evaluation session. I just had to give it in a short burst. Any questions? Are you up for questions, or are you skipping the Q&A for questions since I went over?
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavan, but we'll be having at least 5 minutes for the Q&A, and then we can move forward. Anybody who wants to ask a question? Yes. Please raise hand, and I would urge the Zoom master to please put them on spotlight. So we have Toastmaster Anand. Toastmaster Anand, you may please ask your question.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavan. That was really insightful. One question that I really wanted to ask is my tone while giving a suggestion or while adding humor is sarcastic. Okay. As a general person that I am. Now, however, probably this is not appreciated in an evaluation. And even the contest does refers, the technique is you have to be sympathetic to the speaker. Now, how do you be sympathetic? I mean, how do you change your tone as sympathetic? I know it sounds very silly, but how?
No, you don't have to be silly, because I think I'm sure you might have already got an idea that I'm also a sarcastic person till now. I've been doing that in my session. So I'll tell you what, I don't think it is sympathetic. You need to be empathetic to the speaker, not sympathetic, because you need to understand the speaker where he or she is coming from first. And second thing is, your tone will automatically change when you try to actually help the speaker. I'm telling you that the purpose comes there again. When I'm trying to help a person, I would not throw sarcastic comments at them, right? Automatically, my instance gave you a more polite tone. You agree with me, Anand, on that?
Yes, I agree. Yes,
right?
Got it.
Why don't you try putting a mindset of, let me help this person, and try to actually talk when you're trying to help, even if your best friend or your brother or your sister, when you try to help them, how do you present it? You don't throw sarcastic comments at them, right? You first understand, try to be empathetic, not sympathetic, empathetic. I think that would automatically show in your tone. There is no specific, like this is a tone for empathy or this is for sympathy. There's nothing like that. It is just how you how you react and respond, the choice of words. I think, yeah, that's the best way. The choice of words you use actually decide whether you are sarcastic or not. Sometimes I'm being sarcastic, but the choice of words are so smart that people think I'm just giving a suggestion. I was like, okay, good job. I escaped that day. So something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Pragya, you may please ask the question.
So Toastmaster Pavan, thanks for the amazing session. Though I don't have a question related to the session directly, but on a point of view wherein I have heard that whenever we talk about evaluation speech contest, we say that the speaker is the center, is the main hero of the movie. I have a different view over that, which says that both speaker and the evaluator are at times the hero of the movie. You can say a supporting role or whatever you call it, but they both have their own stage presence, which needs to be taken care of. So do you agree to something which says the idea which I believe in is that the speaker is the hero for that 5 minutes when the speaker is speaking, and you are 5 to 7 minutes, and the evaluator is more of a supporting hero, or the second part of the hero in that as a multi-starrer, because he also has to show the presence, the idea and the way he is presenting himself, similar manner which the speaker will be showing to get a little of that contest feel kind of a thing. So what would you suggest over that?
So first of all, I'll tell you, each time a person goes onto the stage, that person owns the stage. So that person is a hero or heroine of that at that moment. That's for sure. And you can't say multi-starrer because you won't see the speaker and evaluator at the same time. No, you don't see them. First the speaker comes, delivers his or her performance, goes away, and then the evaluator comes. Now, they are heroes in their own element or heroines in their own element. Everybody is a hero, even the grammarian, even the accountant, even the time as well. Nobody is a supporting character here. But they are heroes because they stick to their job of that the purpose line of it. So as long as you stick to the line of purpose line of it, you are always performing as a great hero. So every time you go onto the stage, your mindset also should be as a person to overcome that fear or the stress. You need to own the stage. Think that that's your comfort zone. Now that is where all your heroics come from. If you own that stage and feel that comfort, I think there is no other special crash course for that. So I agree with your point. Yes, there is no supporting characters. Yes, if you look at the structure and concept in a meeting as well, the speaker gives a speech, the evaluator helps the speaker, grammarian also helps the speaker, our counter helps the speaker, then what are they there for? Like, yeah, that is what the whole other roles are for, the leadership traits, where you help the speaker. The leadership traits are learned through that. And that is why this is rolling, that it's not like only this community people are always speakers and this community people are always role players. No, it's always rotating. That's the reason why. Okay. So I agree with your point of view. That's definitely. Anyone? Did it make sense, by the way? I'm sorry. All right. I think Kavita has a question.
Yes, Toastmaster Kavita. This is the last question. I would request all the other people to drop their questions to the Zoom master over personal chat, and then we'll get back to you on your doubts later. Toastmaster Kavita, please, you may go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pavan, for an insightful session. I have a question regarding the evaluation sheet. It's not about contest, but regular evaluations, wherein there are few points mentioned only for the evaluator. It's a notes kind of thing, which will be mentioned after the project objective. So how important those points are to the evaluator? Because I have observed in many cases that evaluators are going out of those points and evaluating. So how important those points are to note down for the evaluator?
Right. Those are pretty important. So I'll tell you what, every point that is mentioned in the project overview from the start till the end is important for the speaker, and for the notes for evaluator from the start till the end, what the objectives are and what is the notes for evaluator, everything is really important, because It just gives you a holistic view of what are you looking at for that particular speech. And evaluation is something that is not prepared. Nobody comes prepared for an evaluation. It is on the spot. You see the speech and then you make an analysis over there in the next 10-15 minutes or so. So notes for evaluator is very important to understand that. Now, if there are evaluators who are going overboard, that is why you have the general evaluator there to give a feedback saying that you went overboard from your evaluation objectives. So the general evaluator role can be used to give feedback to every role player who diverts or kind of goes away from the course of what they're supposed to do. Hope I answered?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita, for that questions. Well, that was actually helpful. And whoa, oh my God, I have to say it. That was an amazing training session, Toastmaster Pavan. And now, without wasting any more time, it's time for us to demonstrate what we have learned. For this, we have 3 evaluators who will be evaluating a test speaker and then will receive feedback from the trainer. Now we have drawn the order for presentations. To remind you, you will speak in the following order. First, the first evaluator will be Toastmaster Navneet. Second evaluator will be Toastmaster Pranidhi. And last evaluation will be served by Toastmaster Silla. When the test speaker has finished the speech, you will be taken by the Sergeant at Arms to the breakout room where you can write notes about your evaluation for 5 minutes. After this time has lapsed, you will be required to keep your audio and video on and your hand should be visible to the Sergeant at Arms. You may use your notes during the evaluation or not if you prefer. After the first evaluation, the next speaker will be called from the room during the 1-minute silence for judging of the previous speaker. A green light will be shown at 2 minutes, yellow light at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red light at 3 minutes. The red light will then stay on until you have finished speaking. 30 seconds of grace time will be given on either side. Without further ado, let's call our test speaker of the day, Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul, can we have a quick audio video check for you?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, and you are also clearly visible.
Thank you. Timer, I can see the cards changing. You can pick them up when it turns 5. Thank you. Toastmaster Sakshi, good to go?
Yes, Toastmaster Rahul, you may begin.
How many of you all believe you are a leader? Whether you're managing a team of 500 people, or you're a homemaker, or you're a law-abiding citizen, I strongly believe that you are a leader. People may not believe what you say, but they'll surely believe what you do. Good morning, contestants, Toastmasters, and guest present over here. Before I begin my story, let me give you a statutory warning. All the characters in this story are real. Any reference or resemblance to any living or dead, personal or professional people around you is surely intentional and no way coincidental. One fine day, I called in my office and told them I'm sick and I'll not be joining the office. Remember when there's a Salman Star movie or an India-Pakistan match, the way you called in sick? Exactly that way. Laying on my couch, I was watching the India-Pakistan match with my son, 6-year-old Hriday, by my side, enjoying games on my phone. And just then, there was a call. And the call read, boss calling. Boss calling. I was fretted. I was scared. I was not sure and didn't want to change any plans that I had for the rest of the day watching the wonderful India-Pakistan match. Right there, I asked him, lift the call and tell I'm not here. But Dad, you're right here. Okay, lift the call and tell him I'm not well. But Dad, by the way, what's wrong? Should we go to the hospital, Dad? Okay, tell him that I've gone outside somewhere. But dad, are we going out somewhere? You're not watching cricket? Shall we go out? Just tell him I am not around. My dad is not around. He told me to tell you this. Staring at his face. He's staring at my face. That one moment taught me a lesson. I asked him, why did you say like that on the call? But dad, didn't you tell me yesterday, speak the truth, come what may? Forget it. You won't get it now. That was an instance with my kid, but that didn't end there. A few days later, I got a call from my child's school asking, he's not well, so please take care of him, check out if he needs to meet a doctor or something, and make sure, and don't worry about the homework which is due. I was baffled. And asked my wife, is Hriday not well or something? Why wasn't I told about it? He's perfectly fine. There's no challenge with him. I called my son. Hriday, what's wrong with you? Is there something wrong or something in the school that you were sneezing or something? No, Dad, I'm fine. Then why isn't your homework over? Dad, forget it. You won't get it now. Kids are one of the finest imitators you'll see in the world. But not the imitators of what you say, but what you do. But isn't it the case with everyone around us? Our spouses, our subordinates, or the people that we talk about around the world that we live in? Aren't we all a testimony for what we see and not the lectures that we have listened to? Ask yourself, how do you ask when a kid is shouting, when you ask him not to shout, how do you say, kid, please don't shout, or don't shout? How do you do it? The other day, I had one of the mothers asking me, how do I get my son off the mobile phones? And guess what? How was she asking that? How do I get my son off the mobile phone, Rahul? There you go. When I look back at my childhood and when I see what I've learned is not from the lectures or the classrooms where the teachers were teaching something. I look back and look at my mother holding her desires and balancing the needs of the family. I look at my dad weaving and stitching, taking cloth pieces to stitch his clothes, although he had no shortage of money. I look at my grandfather taking care of the members of our business as their own and looking after their families when there was a need. That is where I learned the value of family, the value of frugality or taking care of money and not letting success get over your head. Or, like my grandfather, giving back to the people from whom you have made yourself. That is how I learned these values, not from the lectures someone gave me, but from what they did. A testimony for this fact was recently I bought a toy bike for my child. And when I asked him to sit over it, he was hesitant. He said, I won't sit on that bike without a helmet. You wear a helmet every time you're on a bike. Why should I sit on this bike without a helmet? The lesson was learned. There's a far greater likelihood for someone to follow your footsteps rather than your sermons. They're far likely to believe what they see than what they hear. If at all you wish to be a leader, make a difference, and change the world, begin by being a good example. Over to you, Toastmaster. I think the MC is not able to unmute herself.
Thank
The actions
you.
speak.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. I was about to type it, but thanks to you that that some of my efforts, some of my calories are saved. Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Now I would request all the three evaluators to turn on their videos and move to the breakout room with the sergeant at arms. You will have 5 minutes to prepare your evaluation. Zoom master, please inform me once done.
Breakout room is open. Please, all the three evaluators along with Sajjan, please join to the breakout. Praniti, you received the notification. Please join to the breakout room. If you have any issues, please let me know. Toastmaster Praniti, are you in the meeting? I think
She can't respond if she is not.
Yes, I think she is having some technical issues. Her screen got frozen. That's what I could able to see here. Okay, I will call her meanwhile. Please give me 1 minute, 30 seconds. Please.
Meanwhile, I'll just give you an insider. So your EMC for today, that is me, is a very fun-loving person. So I would not even waste a minute and give you all a break. Just have a sip of water if you want. And once all the evaluators are in the breakout room, we'll have a quick 5-minute quiz. Zoom Master, are we having all the evaluators in the breakout room?
Pranidhi is facing some technical issues. We'll give 1 more minute time. If not, we will go with the only 2 evaluators. I'm discussing with her. Please give me 1 more minute, please.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I would love if somebody would step up and give a feedback about how the session was. Anybody would like to come?
So basically, you're asking them to evaluate me.
Yes, Toastmaster Pavan, not asking anyone to evaluate you, but provide you with some or the other crisp feedback.
Yes.
So we have, come on, we are all Toastmaster. We are not meant to be camera shy. And even if we are camera shy, we have to speak. This is what we are here for, break the ice. Let alone I and Toastmaster Pavan are the only 2 people speaking. Yes, Toastmaster Pragya, please go ahead.
So thank you. And I am always a very peppy member of Toastmaster, as the people around me know me, always talking about things. And I loved listening to you today. It's actually difficult to make somebody listen when somebody is always into talking. So you made me do that. It's a great thing. And I loved the major part which I loved about your session was that you focused majorly on the mindset, because that's where everything starts. If you have the right mindset of why and how you are evaluating, and with which idea are you evaluating the person, I think that makes a lot of difference in how you're going to evaluate the person. As someone also asked that I have a more sarcastic style, but if you have a mind shift of what you want to do and why you want to do, you're doing great on that. So I loved that particular part. Most of the education sessions I have attended, they focus more on how to evaluate the content, how to evaluate the delivery, and all that stuff. So it's a great thing to do over there. I loved it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pragya. Can we have one more person? 2 is always better than 1.
Hello.
Hello. I'm very sorry, but I cannot see you. Can you please switch on your video?
Hello, but I'm not in a position to switch on the video. But I wanted to thank Toastmasters Pavan, because I'm a new member, recently joined the Toastmasters just before days, and these type of education sessions are very helpful for members like me who are more of an introvert or a shy guy, and they help us to explore us, or what we call as break our some aura, or like break the ice, to say, right? And I feel like I want to attend more sessions like this, thereby improve myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. And now I would like to ask the Zoom Master again if Toastmaster Pranidhi is in the breakout room.
Yes, Sakshi, Toastmaster Pranidhi is in the breakout room, and all the 3 evaluators are in the breakout room along with Sergeant Tabs. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwala. Now, Now it's the time for fun session. So at least if you cannot switch on your camera, please switch on your audio and respond to me. Well, it's not something like a quiz, but Zoom Master, can I have the sharing rights?
Yes, please try it now. Sakshi, and one more small update. All the evaluators are in the main room and they are ready for the evaluations. First, the order is first Toastmaster Madhvi is going to give the evaluator 1, Shaila is the evaluator 2, and Pranidhi is the evaluator 3. Whereas she is having some technical issues, I ask her to give the evaluation at the end. Okay. Once your quiz or whatever is done, please call the evaluator. I will send the broadcast.
Okay. So is my screen visible? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so basically it's an emoji game. I have some emoji placed and you have to guess the name of the country from this emoticons. So the first one is
Argentina.
okay. Pavan, is it Toastmaster Pavan?
Oh no, I didn't even utter a word.
Okay. So whoever it is, please tell your name as well. So that we
Anand.
know. Sorry?
Anand.
Anand. Okay, Anand 1 point.
Vamsi, Spain.
Germany.
Okay, who was this? Who said Germany?
Monastery.
Okay, 1 point to Monish. Okay, I will not spare more than 10 seconds.
I think this is Portugal.
Okay. Who was this?
This is Pavan. Now it's Pavan.
Okay. 1 point to Toastmaster Pavan. This one is a hard one.
Madagascar.
Yes. Who is this person?
It's again Pavan.
Okay. Toastmaster Pavan is a smart guy.
Belgium.
Toastmaster Pavan is athlete. Come on, we want someone to beat our trainer.
No, disclaimer, this was not leaked, okay?
Okay. Last one, sixth one.
Ukraine.
Who is this?
It's Yash.
Yash. Okay. Yash 1 point. Now moving ahead. Now the food brands.
Starbucks. This
It was an easy one and this is a tie. So I will not give anyone any point.
Domino's. Doritos.
Yes, Yash get another point.
Lipton.
Yes. Who was this?
Shakuntala.
Shakuntala 1 point. So we have, okay, we'll have the leads at the end of the food brands.
Namaste, London.
Well, I have forgotten the answer to this one. So we'll just leave and go ahead. Yes, this one.
Kellogg's.
Yes. Who was the person who answered first? That was a female voice. Who was it?
One is Shakuntala.
Okay. Yeah, this is hard. Sorry?
Aerosters?
No.
Hershey's.
Hershey's. Yes. So who said Hershey's?
Ravi.
Ravi.
Someone else. I just repeated it.
Okay. So we have lead with Toastmaster Pavan at 2 points and followed by Yash at 2 points. Toastmaster Yash at 2 points. So now comes the third one, that is the mobile brands.
Micromax.
Who was this? Please tell your name so that I know who answered. Okay, next one.
Nokia.
Yes, Ravi is right. It's Nokia. Sorry?
Carbon.
Yeah, carbon is right.
BlackBerry.
Yes, this is also right. Who was this?
Pavan.
Toastmaster Pavan is at 5 right now.
Sony.
Yes, Pragya is right. It's Sony.
OnePlus.
OnePlus. It was Ravi, right?
Both
Ravi.
Ravi and Pavan.
Okay, we'll give it to Ravi because Pavan already has 5 points.
Oh, what was this? Look, I also made an effort.
But we support the people who are a bit weak, so goes to Ravi. And I am the master of this game as well, so I'll decide. Sweets and desserts, this is the fourth one. So, first one.
Gulab jamun.
Pavan and Ravi having a tie. Who was this? Who said Peda first?
That's me again, ma'am. Promise.
Zoom master, please mute Toastmaster Pavan. Okay. What is this?
Jalebi.
Okay, Ravi, right. Ravi is giving a good competition now. This is a hard one. Aha, where are the smart people?
Ice cream sundae.
Okay, Yash is 3 points. Did you
Question
see it?
paper leak hua kya?
Yes, I was about to say that. Okay, next.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch what?
Shake.
Butterscotch milkshake. Cupcake shake, maybe.
Yeah, it's just butterscotch shake. So who said the? I guess Pavan said the whole answer. So Pavan is at 7, Yash is at 4, Ravi is at 3. The top leads.
Milk cake.
Yes. Yash is at 5 now. Now the last two segments, movie title. It's like it is mixed with both Bollywood and Hollywood movies.
You can take me out. Oh, Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 point. Who was the female voice? I could not see actually.
Navya.
Okay.
You
1
get
point.
quick voice here.
And Pavan is 8 points.
101 Dalmatians.
Yash 6 points. Yash को paper मिला है.
Wake up sip.
Ravi has 1 more point. Ravi is at 4 now.
Who's that wake up shit? Okay.
Sui Dhaga.
Great. Who was that?
Anand.
Anand at 2 points after a long while. Nobody? Okay, we'll go ahead. Last of this segment. No one? Okay.
Gunde.
Okay. Who was this?
Pragya.
Yes, Pragya at 2 points. Now okay, you have to tell the movies by the plot. I have put some emoticons and there's a plot, and this is the last segment. After that, we'll move on to the evaluation.
Sakshi, sorry. All right, Sakshi, sorry to interrupt you, but can we go ahead with the evaluation because
Sure, Ujjwala.
yeah.
Okay, so we have the winners of the day, and it is Toastmaster Pavan with 8 points, Toastmaster Yash with 5 points, and Toastmaster Ravi with 4 points. And without wasting any more time, I would like to ask the Zoom master if all the evaluators are present in the main room. Is the evaluator number 1 is present in the main room?
Yes, evaluator 1 is present in the main.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shrikant. Toastmaster Madhvi, please check your audio and video. You have 30 seconds to do so.
Hello, Sakshi. Am I audible and visible clearly?
Yes, you are clearly audible and visible. Zoom Master, can you please spotlight Toastmaster Madhvi? Thank you. Are timer cards visible to you, Toastmaster Madhvi?
Yes, I'm able to see.
Okay. Toastmaster Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Madhvi, Evaluator 1, over to you.
A lovely good afternoon to each and everyone here, and hearty congratulations, Toastmaster Rahul, on delivering such an engaging speech. You began with a question, and at the very moment, you grabbed the attention of the audience there. And with that, you made them wanting to hear more from you. You enacted your speech in the form of conversations. You used voice modulations and apt pauses. And I must say that you have been successful in conveying your message that actions speak louder than words. While I loved the modulations and the transitions that you had in your speech, and the fact that you tried to smile throughout your speech, that attempt slightly overpowered your other expressions. Like you said, boss calling, but you said you were scared, but we could see you that you were smiling. One more suggestion that I have for you is, while you were trying to make an attempt to enact the conversation, there was these moments where you kept moving throughout your speech, and that somewhere managed to shift our focus from concentrating on your speech than on your moments, I mean, than the speech that we are looking forward to listen to you. And I would say that you have been successful enough to grab the attention of the audience and convince them that you are trying to make an attempt to make them understand that when you are trying to say something to people, they will listen to you, but that is only hearing. They will listen and understand it only when you show them through your actions. To summarize, I would say that you are a cheerful and a pleasant person, and someone whom everyone will look forward to listen to. You have the ability to connect and convince the audience and make them understand your ideology. You have used the vocabulary, voice modulation, pauses in the right proportions, making your speech something that can be implemented by the audience and something that they can take away today with your speech. Thank you and good luck. Over to you, MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhvi. Zoom Master, can you please confirm that the evaluator number 2 is in the meeting room?
Yeah, please give me 10 seconds. She will join. Now, Shailar, evaluator 2, Shailar, in the main room, please go ahead.
Toastmaster Sila, can you please check your audio and video?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible and you are clearly visible. Are we good to go from your end?
Yeah, we are good to go. Can I start?
Toastmaster evaluator number 2, Toastmaster Silar, evaluator number 2. Over to you.
Good afternoon to everybody. So this is Nikhat Fatima, Silar Nikhat Fatima.
I will be providing the evaluation for the speaker Rahul Jain. So we believe what we see rather than what we listen. So the speaker, you started with a question, which I also noticed. Okay, so how many of you believe you are a leader? I think everybody believes. I mean, a lot of people believe that they are a leader. And as you proceeded into the speech, you gave a very good disclaimer that it is a real story, and real stories are what we believe in real, you know. And this way, the way you started your story with a disclaimer and introduced all the characters in the story was very amazing, and your speech was very effective. As you said, the boss is calling. I thought actually the boss is calling, and how you presented the, how you put yourself into the shoes of your spouse and your child and played their role was amazing. It was like I was watching a play and you are playing all the roles together at once, you know, and how you made the audience believe the value of family by giving various examples of your grandfather and your other family members. We all believe that what we learn, the values comes from family, and the values to become a leader also comes from our family. And the, the question you presented at the first, that is how do you believe you are a leader? So you gave a very good conclusion, I mean, answer for that question by telling the values of the family, how you learn from the family, by learning the values of becoming a leader from the family. In that way, you presented the answer of the question a very short and in a crisp manner. And the flow of the speech, how you started from the starting about the story and ended with the conclusion and the answer to the question, which was amazing. And I just expected a little more information about the more the way you were telling was very interesting. So I just expected a little more information about information that you were telling. And yeah, I think you are a very good role player, I think, and that's it. I just loved your speech. The way you played all the roles was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Silar. Now we will observe 1 minute of silence for the super evaluator to mark his feedback form.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, who is this?
Yes, Pranidhi. Yes, we could be able to hear you. Please wait. We have the 1 minute of silence to make the evaluations. Then Sakshi will call you.
Can I start now?
Sakshi will let you know when you want to start. Please wait.
Yes, Toastmaster Pranidhi, can you please have a quick audio and video check?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are clearly audible as well as visible. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Pranidhi. Toastmaster Pranidhi, evaluator number 3. Over to you.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. Rahul has given a great speech. It's very engaging, the speech you have delivered today. You have said one correct thing, that whatever the elders do will be followed by others, I mean children. The one point you have raised correctly is that as our parents, whatever our parents have did, we have followed. So that's one point I liked it. So the other point, what I have felt something was missing at the end of your speech. So after the point, what you when a mother is saying that, Rahul, how can I change, make our children so not to addict with the phone? After that, at that point, I have felt something was missing. So that's the only point I felt so missed, and everything what the speech was chronological order. And for the question you have asked, that do you believe that you are a leader? I like that question, and if you had some more questions like that, so that we could ask ourselves and we could answer to that questions. So that was the second point I want to tell you. The main point you have raised it, that from your speech, I was very like that our elders, whatever we do, our children will follow. That's the very correct point you have raised. In this situation, it is an opt point you have raised. And so when at that point, at the other point was boss, when your boss called you, you have asked your child to lie, so that it made the child to say lie to her teacher too. That was because of our actions and words they are following. So if we want to inspire, if you want to be the leader, you have to follow the footsteps of your own, not by lying or not by making rash things to others. For example, you have lastly said that you want to be a leader, so that you want to not by saying with the harsh words or raising your voice if others were raising their voice. It can't work like that. Overall, the speech is very nice. The delivery of your speech is good. You have said the truth about this. In this world, it's a bitter truth that if we want to make our children or other people to lose their habits, we have to follow. If we have to follow ourselves, not if other don't want to follow. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranidhi. Now we'll observe 1 minute of silence for the master evaluator to mark his ballot. Okay, we are good to go. Now we will have our master evaluator evaluation segment, where we will know where we can improve. To take this session, please help me welcome the master evaluator of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Pavan Sreedaram. Over to you, Toastmaster Pavan.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. So I'll be just quick to provide the feedback to the evaluators. Hope that's the expectation, right? Sounds good. Thank you. So first of all, to start with, I should appreciate all the three people to step up for this particular session to have it. It's easy to evaluate, but it's even more tougher to be evaluated in front of everyone. So I think I appreciate that effort of yours. To start with, directly, I just have one point each for each person. And to start with, Madhavi, I think you did a good job in terms of analyzing the good points of the speaker, but I don't think you have mentioned any kind of recommendations or feedback with the speaker yet at all. Because I whether I missed it or have you have you just mentioned it at the start, but you were going on, you did mention a lot of good points, but I thought, did you give any recommendations, feedback to the speaker to improve?
Yeah, I didn't mention the point that I would want to recommend on this or something like that. I tried to make a transition where I'm not using words like, though I love this, but I didn't want to use that but over there. So I said, like, actually speaking, I didn't find much of the things that I could recommend on. But two things that I mentioned was he was constantly moving on the screen. So if he could reduce that a little bit, that would have been even more better. And the second point was he was constantly smiling throughout the speech. That was though a good point, but while he was trying to show some expressions like boss calling, he was scared, but still he was smiling over there. So smiling overpowered a little bit over the other expressions. So I tried to mention these two.
Because I just doubted myself. Was I careful listening to her? Because like, did she put recommendations that it was ended already? So I think, yeah, in that recommendations part, I think this goes to almost all everyone, because this was a common point. I think one of the major things in evaluation is you need to organize your evaluation and give a heads up to the speaker, like how your evaluation is being organized. For example, you announce it before, saying that if I'm going, my evaluation will be into two sections. One, the things I like and the improvements, or my evaluation, I'll take the acronym of WHO or THA and something. You announce what approach you're taking in organizing your speech. So that way we will have, this is for all the three evaluators, and this is a common point I've observed. You need to announce what approach you're trying to take. That way, the speaker and also the audience knows that, okay, she or he gonna take this approach. So first is this, next is this, next is this. Or else, if you keep speaking, we are kind of guessing or clueless, like whether what's coming next. I think most that is one of the point I want to mention for all three of you as well. And yeah, thank you, Madhavi, for clarifying that. But yes, I would recommend you to have it more organized. I mean, I understand that you don't have to put recommendations, but I guess, yeah, points to improve, I would suggest you need to tell that so that the speaker also identifies that it's a recommendation, right? If you avoid the words and how the speaker identifies it's a recommendation for or her. So you might need to use few words sometimes, right? And Sailar Nikhat, right? I need to pronounce your name correctly?
That's
Silar, I'm so sorry. Silar Nikhat.
Yeah.
I think you also did a good job in analysis. Again, the presentation part, you need to organize your speech. And then the thing is, when you give a recommendation. So whenever I evaluate a speech or see an evaluator, I focus only on the recommendation part. What is the recommendation they're giving for the speech? Because that decides your analysis power. The good points are always visible to everyone, but what makes you stand out is the recommendation you give to that speaker. And even in evaluation contests, when I judge in evaluation contest, I look at the recommendations. Whether I rate the recommendation, how good of a recommendation is that. So in this, your recommendation was very generic. It's a little more information. So like, about what? About what is that information? And when you give a recommendation like that, you need to tell what information about what you need, and then how it actually benefits the effect of the speech. You need to clarify that. So I think that it was very generic, your recommendation, but if you can be more specific what information it is and how it is, that would help the speaker to see that, okay, this is the thing where she has come from, that the perspective is understood by the speaker. I think that would be better. And I think Praniti also, Praniti, I thought you were going to I thought for initial impression, I thought you would finish in just 1.5 minutes itself, because you started super quick and then you slowly picked up the pace. So I think the organization part from your end also needs big attention, because I was thinking that you had only one point, and in fact, you told your only recommendation in the first 30 seconds or 45 seconds and said that is the only thing I had for you. Then I thought it's going to end actually. But then you took it off from there, and then you went back from the good points, and then you were evaluating. So it felt like you were recollecting the points on the go and telling the speaker rather than having an organized way of presenting your evaluation. So I think that is one more thing. You need to focus on how you want to present your points, have it listed down, and then accordingly go through it. So I think that would be my suggestion towards you as well. But again, all the three, I think there was one point I think I also missed as part of my session. I would want to share it, because there is something called credibility of a speaker. So in any speech, when a speaker is trying to say, I'll take a classical example of myself. Now you see how much of a you can look at my body already. I lost my hair, right? Now I'll come to Ravi Japeri and say that Ravi, see, use this oil, man. This is gonna give you like real good hair. What will he do? He will first look at my head, right? Look at your head. You don't have hair yourself, and you're suggesting me that this will grow hair. Will he accept it? He will not accept it, right? See, now what if I take that oil, grow your hair on my own head, and show it as an example and give it to him? He will believe it then, right? Now that is called the credibility factor, where I prove it myself. Right? So similarly, if a speaker says something, right, look what the speaker has done with that moral or lesson or whatever message he's trying to say in his or her life. So as a speaker, when you tell what you have done with your message that you're trying to convey. So once I implement that in my life, that is when I have the right to tell the audience to try it. Or else you won't just follow anything that anybody says, right? There should be some proof or something. That's called credibility in the public speaking platform, right? So focus on that as well. That will also give you a lot of insights, like how well the credibility is there for the speaker. So don't take anything that comes for free. Understand that it should be proven, right? So that's one more point for everyone. I missed that point. So I think if you can focus on all that and mainly focus on the content. Evaluations, please focus on the content. That is how you can make a speech in a better way, because the dynamics will always enhance themselves as the content evolves. So please focus on the content of the speech. I think that's my only report. Thank you so much. Over to MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavan, for this mind-blowing session and the hacks that you have given us. I am very sure it will help us in delivering a better feedback in our upcoming performance as an evaluator. Now, in this insightful session, we do not want you to miss any of the points that has been shared. Therefore, I would like to invite Toastmaster Stuti, who is the minute taker of today's meeting, to give you some of the major points discussed today. Over to you, Toastmaster Stuti.
Hey, hi Sakshi. Stuti is not in this meeting. Let's move forward.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Lasya. Now I would like to call our Division H Director, Toastmaster Haripriya, for the address and giving the certificate. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Haripriya. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sakshi, for the introduction over here. It's really a wonderful session, I must say. I was attending since 1 hour over here and I really loved it. I just recollected my evaluation contest in 2019, I must say. I had no idea what to deliver, how to deliver. It was only and only my mentor, Toastmaster Alfred, who guided me exactly what pointers to speak on. That's it. That's it. And I have done a spontaneous job over there. And yes, I did get the first runner-up winner over there at the club contest. I didn't win. I didn't go to the area level. That's where I was very, very sad, I can say. Of course, I did not have tears in my eyes because I wouldn't given up. But let me tell you, still, I got an opportunity only because of that into convener, that is co-convener. And because of that co-convener, I am here right now after my area director and division director. So can you see the journey? If you are a winner, you will scale up. If you are still not a winner, you will still scale up. You have both the roads. It's upon you how you do it. So thank you so much, Pavan Sreedaram, for enlightening me on such a wonderful session with the Q&A. I have noted down your points. I mean, you spoke about fear, you spoke about choice of words, you spoke about the purpose, and be a hero and stick to that stage. Make your stage as a comfortable zone, just like a home. So these pointers, actually, I was emphasizing on my contest those days. If I would have implemented this thing, I would have been the winner of the evaluation at district level for sure. So I must say that the entire organizers who are present here, that is the Toastmaster Lasya, Toastmaster Shirisha, the 5 managers, Harika, Ujjwala, Manish, and Yash, I just really thank, and also the area focals over there who have organized a wonderful session. We did not get this opportunity. You all are getting this opportunity, and all the organizers are here. And I must say that the present organizers, Ujjwala and Navya Shri, I see Srikant, Sakshi, everyone are present. So I really thank each and every one of you for organizing such a beautiful session, and the trainers and the evaluators who have taken part in this. That's I'm really overwhelmed for this session. And I must also want to tell you that we also gonna have a session tomorrow as well. That is humorous speech contest. That is at 11 o'clock, taken by Toastmaster Pankaja, who was a district level winner at that moment of time, and she's a renowned speaker. So she is going to take up a session. So I request each one of you and also convey to your friends. Okay. So these are the things which I wanted to convey. And yes, that's the second thing. Next, thank you so much, Doom Master, Sakshi, and as well the Srikant for displaying the certificates over here. Yes, thank you so much, our test speaker, that is Rahul Jain, a lot for giving a wonderful speech where others have been evaluated. I know getting evaluated with so many people back to back is like, oh my God. But thank you so much, Rahul Jain, for coming forward and delivering a wonderful speech to us. This particular certificate is to you. And thank you so much, our Zoom master. It's not at all easy to highlight everyone, to get everyone entering to the meeting, then breakout rooms, then coming out. It's not easy. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Navya, for this. Thank you so much, Ajay for taking care of all the introductions over here. That is Sai Hemant Kumar. And also you're going to end the session. You are the main person, I must say, the first impression. Thank you so much, Hemant. Thank you so much, Subhash. Timing, maintaining apt time, the particular timing for all the evaluators and the whole session. And it's like you have to stick to the laptop. It's like your baby right now. So thank you so much, Subhash, for this. Thank you so much, Sakshi. You have done a fantabulous job. I was observing you since time after Pavan Sreedaram has taken care, and after that you were taking care one by one, organizing it according to agenda. Thank you so much, Sakshi. She is also our area director right now. And thank you so much, the evaluator, Madhavi. You have done a good job. I have also seen, but I'm not here to evaluate you right now. Already you have been evaluated. Thank you so much, Pranidhi. When I heard yours, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, next certificate. Okay, thank you so much, Nikant Fatima, for being a third evaluator in this session. I hope all of the evaluators have learned and got an experience. Of course, you're scaled up another level. And yes, next. Yes, what should I say? He is my mentor, and he has been mentoring me since I started my division director. I must say he has been listening to all my tantrums daily at night. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pavan Sreedaram. I got a lot of enlightenment from your session as well. And of course, I will be taking enlightenments and further. That's not a stop. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Pavan. This is for you. Okay, and that's what I can say. And I really want to tell one point for everyone. This is a particular quote we all division directors actually follow, and I follow from everywhere. Yes, Lassie, I'll give it to you 1 second. Let me finish this. There is something called as fear. This fear word I heard because when Pavan spoke about the fear of the stage. You have two meanings. That is, forget everything or run, or face everything and rise. It's upon you, everyone. Follow this every day. So I see that I'm getting chats, and thank you. I guess, Lassie, anything you have to say, I'll hand over this particular stage definitely to the next person. I know. Is there anything
No,
I'm missing?
I actually wanted you to acknowledge the heart of this meeting, Srikant from Aviva. He worked really hard and put everything together. So maybe I want you to take his name.
Okay, yes, I remember that. I did take his name. I guess I did not forget. If I forgot again, I'm really sorry. And thank you so much, Srikant, from the day when, if last year studying that you have put a hard work, definitely, I believe her totally. Yes, it is. So thank you so much, Srikant. It's not easy. I have seen you even you were speaking in between. Yeah, thank you. And I hope to see you again and again. It's not like stop over here, Srikant. We would request you to be there continuously. Okay. And thank you so much, everyone. So I'm done here. I'm not going to bore every one of you. So I hand over this particular stage to our next division director, that is Ravi, to please take over the session. Thank you.
All right, I think we already lost track of time because of the wonderful session that we had. I will hand over it back to Jwala. I think all the updates have been already covered by Haripriya here. Thank you so much, everyone. Over to you, Jwala.
Thank you so much, Ravi. Thank you so much, Haripriya. Now for the closing PO address, I would request Srikant to take it over. Over to you, Srikant.
Thank you, Jula. And first of all, I would like to thank today's trainer, Toastmaster Pavan, and target speaker, Rahul Jain. I would like to, I'm going to say heartfelt congratulations for running this session and helping for us. And I'm saying sincere apologies. We are facing some technical issues in between the session. That's the reason we are dragging this meeting 30 minutes late. Sorry for that. We will make sure for the next meeting on time and on close. And I would like to thank all the role players who are helping for conducting this session, and you really did a fabulous job. And it's heartfelt congratulations to all of you. And thank you all for all the participations and bearing that time, half an hour extra. Still, we have the 27 participations. It's really a great thing on the weekend. Thank you so much for all your participations. And I would like to thank once again, especially Toastmaster Lasha and Toastmaster Udula. But Lasha is saying, I'm the heart of this meeting. It's not the thing. We three are the heart of this meeting. That's the reason we could able to conduct this meeting very successfully, except the technical glitch. Sorry for that. And I'm handing the stage to Sreedaram to close the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Heaven.
May I audible to all?
You are audible, sir.
I hope you had all a great learning today, this session. And I hope to see you all tomorrow HSC education session at 11 a.m. Thank you.